Title of this story is my dad the asshole for kidnapping my aunt's dogs? Hi, huge fan. I watch your stories on TikTok every day. This is my story and feel free to use and share it. Thank you. My aunt is a lunatic. It's not dementia. She's only in her 50s. All the women in my family live to 90 because only the good die young. She's always been like this. She turned up to my parents' courthouse wedding in a blue taffeta ball gown that filled a row by itself, and her two sons, my cousins, have spent their lives running interference between her and anyone they wanted to make a good impression on. They're adults now and keep their respective partners well away from her. The oldest eloped, and not even my good Catholic Nana said a word against it. Wowza. She seems like a character. I need to see a picture of this gal. Since her kids flew the nest, it's just her and her two dogs at home. My aunt's dogs are her fur babies. She has two Labradors and dotes on them. She doesn't train them beyond toilet training, exclusively speaks in high-pitched baby talk, and dresses them in matching outfits. The dogs were constantly terribly ill and being taken to vets. You got a character on your hands here. We all presumed she was attention-seeking and being a hypochondriac, but we live a few hours away and never saw the dogs ourselves. Plus, the vet clinics kept discharging them, and she had to find new clinics each time. I swear if she named one dog Gypsy and the other dog Rose. After she had gone through 7 vet clinics who were all, according to her, incompetent and wanted her babies to suffer, my dad finally pressed her for more. It turned out that their awful demands were that she stopped feeding her pups their favorite snack, chocolate-covered raisins. Yeah, I don't know how those dogs were alive either. My dad immediately jumped in the car, went to her house, and took the dogs. He brought them back to our house and waited for her to come pounding on the door. She did. It was loud. My dad gave her a come-to-Jesus talk with a lot of swearing and refused to give the dogs back until she sat down in front of him and Googled what happens if you give dogs the wrong food. He even found some horrible allergic reaction videos and made her watch those. She had been feeding them exclusively human food, including things like onions that dogs absolutely can't eat. There were lots of tears and screaming, but she did finally listen, and only then did my dad give the dogs back. Happy ending. This was a few years ago, and she did stick to her word. The dogs, shockingly, stopped being ill. It's a miracle. Bubble, the older of the two dogs, sadly met his maker to cancer 2 years ago, but Crumble is still alive and barking at leaves at a very respectable 11-year-old. Less happy ending, her youngest child, my other cousin, is getting married in January and is having a family wedding. Pray for him and his poor bride. Oh no. Yeah, I can't imagine that his mama's going to try to steal the spotlight at all. So the question here is my dad the asshole for kidnapping my aunt's dogs? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. This is terrible, and your dad did the right thing here by immediately getting in the car, going over to this person that you all actively avoid, like your life depends on it, and rescuing the dogs from there. For a while, I thought she was completely Gypsy Rosing them, and just was, a Munchausen's by proxy, just projecting on her dog and on her dogs and going that route. But no, she's just feeding them things that she shouldn't feed them, but never, ever, ever took the time to be like, what does the food that I'm giving them do to them? And is that somehow related to what's making them sick? Never, ever, ever took the time to do that. Also never took the time to be like, should I not wear this gigantic blue taffeta dress to someone's wedding that takes up an entire row? So it's just oblivious, I guess, in general. Janine says I wouldn't have given them back. I kind of thought about that. I'm like, maybe there needs to be like a stabilization period where you guys kept the dogs, got them eating the kind of stuff that they should be eating, got them healthy, and then returned them to her with a very strict food schedule. That would have been the safer route here, but apparently Dad went Clockwork Orange on her and held her eyelids open and forced her to watch all of these things to just completely scare the hooey out of her into never doing it again, and it worked. So it was a gamble, but it paid off.
You know what? I have that blue taffeta dress in a storage unit. It's in a storage unit all by its own because it's so big it takes up the entire 8 by 10 unit, but I think I can go get it out.